The WZ-113 is a Tier 10 Chinese tech tree heavy tank. This is a vehicle that is incredibly powerful in many different aspects. In fact, I wouldn't say it has a weakness anymore after update 9.1. Pre 9.1, there was one glaring weakness that any video of mine you'd watch, I'd talk about within the first 2 minutes, and that is its traverse speed. This tank is incredibly slow at turning, which is a big problem, judging that if a medium tank decided to get to your side or anything like that, the 113 would fall apart within seconds. However, after update 9.1, this vehicle got an 8 degrees a second traverse buff. This thing had one problem, and that was it, and Wargaming took it away. Now, there were some downsides to the buffs. There was minus 5 kilometers per hour to its top speed, who cares? And the tank lost like 5% dispersion. Also, who cares? Those two nerfs don't mean anything to the fact that this tank got the only thing that it needed. It's like Naruto changing into his final form. So, yeah, the 113 is basically God at this point. Today alone, I played 6 battles in the vehicle and went, as you can see, 3,800 average damage and won every single game. It wasn't even hard to win the battles. I mean, the tank is just insane. So let's make our way into 2 of the better games I played, which is, I mean, still 3,800 average. All the games were good. These were just 2 of the ones that I picked out that I thought were better than the rest. So this was the first game I played in the tank today. Now, I do want to point out that I've not played the 113 until today, so I didn't know how much of a buff or what to expect from its traverse speed and the other nerfs it got. But yeah, it's definitely a tank that you should be grinding this moment. So the enemy team has an FE2 and 5B. They've got an IS-7 and a Type 71 for Tier 10 heavies. They got a Kampfpanzer 70 and a T-30 for Tier 9s. And then for Tier 10 tank destroyers, a 4005 and a Grill 15. Now the 4005 is definitely a big threat for any Tier 10 heavy, especially one like the WZ-113 that's frontal protection isn't insane, and you're only sitting at 2,400 hit points. The 113 really sacrifices armor for its DPM, and I guess now it's DPM and mobility. So we're making our way straight into the front line. There's an FE2 and 5B, and while the FE2 and 5B may be in its buff state, I hate to break it to any 2 and 5B players out there, but the 113 is just a flat better tank. It's got more DPM, it's got more mobility, and it has the ability to ruin a 2 and 5B, like this example here. So, yeah, long live the FE2 and 5B. Not only that, but we out-reload him with adrenaline on. You know, the 113 is still the king of DPM when it comes to Tier 10 heavies. Type 71 pulls out, and because I'm running Cali, I can absolutely butter through his upper plate. Alright, well, we're already up to about 1,400 damage. Not bad, and because, again, we've got so much DPM, we get a nice second shell into that Type 71, dealing 1,800 damage already. I mean, it's been less than a minute and a half, and we've dealt 1,800 damage. But obviously, we're not done. We got the lower plate of this IS-7, and we also got the 4005, and you're about to see a Kampfpanzer pull off to my side as well. So I'm going to get one shell into the lower plate of this IS-7 with a heat shell just to make sure it pens, and now I'm going to farm the living daylight out of this Kampfpanzer 70. So here's one nice shot into his vehicle. I was actually pretty surprised the guy saved the shell for me. I thought he had fired, or at least figured he had fired at the IS-7, not really paying attention, and yeah, I was surprised when the Kampfpanzer shot me. I was also really worried there for a second that 4005 was going to shoot me, but nope, we're all good. We're going to get a third shell into that KPZ, and with that, we're up to 4,000 damage dealt. And the last opponent I want to shoot at is already in sight, the Grill 15. Speed, go, go, go. Now, you can see that the 113 is not the fastest accelerating heavy anymore. It definitely feels a little slower getting up to top speed, but as I said, it doesn't really matter, because now you have the one thing the tank needed, which was that traverse speed. So we're going to get a nice HE into the Grill, and with that, 5,000 damage. I mean, is there anything else to say about this battle? We didn't necessarily need the traverse speed, but you'll definitely notice that the dispersion buff, or nerf, should I say, didn't really affect the tank at all. I mean, we didn't miss really a single shot this game, penned everything we fired, and yeah, the 113 is still the same old 113. So let's break into the second game. This one is on Alpenstadt, and this is definitely going to showcase the traverse speed being really nice. I mean, I had 2 games where a standard B tried flanking me. I'm not sure if it was the same standard B, but I don't know what was up with with them, but standards really wanted to flank me today, and they really couldn't. I mean, this tank has enough traverse speed now to easily outmaneuver mediums trying to flank you. So the enemy team has a 60 TP, a 57 heavy, a 50 TP, and that's all they got for the heavies. They got a 183, a T30, and a Waffenträger Panzer IV. They definitely have a scary lineup, and I was really worried that the 60 and the T57 heavy, if working together, could easily smack me in the E5, judging that we are single-shot tanks, and they've got much higher alpha in their single shots, and also the 57 as a clipper. But the 60 TP makes a doofus maneuver and pushes his tank over towards base C. It's not necessarily a bad decision to go to C, but it is when you're in an immobile heavy tank like the 60, because you're just kind of stuck there after that. So I'm aiming at the 60, kind of figured he'd back up, and there you go, nice 446 shot into the side of his vehicle. The 420 alpha in this tank feels really nice because not only do you have incredible DPM, but you also have the ability to roll a little bit higher than your average 400 alpha, like that there, 454. 2 shots fired and we're rolling exactly 900, and this T30 is going to rush our E75, but that's not going to stop us from getting 1 shell into the T30, and I do not want this guy to be able to live, so we're going to fire 1 more into the T30 before he's able to get into cover. And there you go, that's 1500 damage already pulled out, and I mean, we're doing pretty good so far. I know this 5041's going to pull around the corner, so we get 1 nice shell into his tank, and look at this traverse speed! It's so ridiculous! I mean, I was able to turn my tank basically full on sideways there and back in the cover, where you probably would not have been able to escape that second shell previously. Now, I noticed that 183 was pulling around this corner, but he actually didn't poke. I was really expecting that 183 to poke, and here you go again, that traverse speed just easily being able to get me back into cover. So it's just great. I mean, it's literally amazing. And because Wargaming buffed its side scraping capabilities as well, you can feel even more confident when poking corners. So right now, I'm trying to think, okay, well, what do I want to do? I obviously know that there's nothing I'm going to poke there. The 183 is going to die. So why not deal with these tanks over here? We got the 60 TP, the 5041. So let's get a nice tap into the 54. Then we got the 57 heavy off to the side being blocked by a 60 TP. Alright, let's aim at a shell in the 57. Nice tap into the turret cheek, and with that we've broken over 3,000 damage. I mean, you can see just how easily the 113 farms damage. It's not even a challenge for this tank. It's got enough heat pen to butter through literally anything. It's got enough mobility and everything to literally do whatever you need. So let's fire a finishing shell into the enemy 60 TP, and now we can deal with this T57 heavy. So let's aim in 1 shell, and this 57 gets the second pen into me. I'm really hoping he doesn't get a high roll, but I don't know what the dude was shooting at. Definitely not my tank, but we got the clear with a max roll. And there you have it. That is the WZ-113, a 4,400 damage game. You don't really notice the traverse speed in the replays, but I can definitely tell you that if you play this tank or you've never played it before, you will definitely notice it being quite good on its traverse, which is not something you would ever say about the 113 previously. So this is an insane tank. I would highly suggest that you grind it and try this tank out for yourself. It's fun. It's a tech tree. I don't get why people kept saying that overpowered premiums are getting buffs in update 9.1 and none of the tech trees are getting buffs, as we have vehicles like the AMX-50B, the WZ-113, the 4005, and so many other vehicles that got changes for the better. But oh well. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and I'll be seeing you in the next one, and let me know what you think about this tank in the comments down below. Bye-bye!